Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my honorable lecturer and all of my beloved friends. In this lovely occasion, I would like to present my reading report for conversation analysis class. But before coming to my presentation today, let me introduce myself. My name is Abelia Anusprano, and I am a student from English Department and Glasgow University. In this occasion, I would like to present my reading report for conversation analysis class, and it is talking about conversation analysis. First, I would like to talk about conversation. We know that human is a social creature, and as a social creature, human need to interact one to another, and of course, human need the tools to interact one to another. And conversation is one of the common way for people to interact one to another. All humans engage in conversational interactions, and human society relies on conversation to communicate one to another. Conversation is also the way for people to socialize and maintain their relationship with other people. Why? Because having a kind of conversation is the easiest way for people to interact one to another. And of course, there are many kind of conversation that human will do in their daily life. For example, when someone talk about their routine activity, when someone talk about their daily activity, when someone talk with their close friends, when someone talk with his or her close family, we can say that kind of conversation as a routine or daily conversation. But when we talk with our lecturer in a class, or when someone talk with his manager, with his boss in a workplace, of course they need to make sure that they should use a formal way. They should choose a formal words, they should choose a formal sentence, and having that kind of conversation, and we can say that kind of conversation as a formal conversation. From that explanation, we can say that we can differentiate conversation from its topic. For example, we can having a kind of conversation like routine conversation, or it can be like a formal conversation, and it can be like a political conversation when we talk about politics and many others. And of course, when we start to have some conversation with other people, there's a way. For example, when we want to start to have some conversation with a new people, of course we need to introduce ourselves first, because they don't know who we are, so that we need to introduce ourselves first to start our conversation with them. And another example is when we start to have some conversation via WhatsApp with a new people that we don't know before. Of course, we will ask them to introduce themselves first, so that we can conduct a kind of conversation. And then from that explanation we know that conversation is the easiest way for people to interact one to another. And after seeing the great role of conversation in human social life begin in 1960 and in the early of 1970s, conversational analysis began to be a field of study. Through the work of an expert named Sachs and his colleagues, conversation analysis began to emerge from sociology as an independent area of understanding the structure of thought. So we know that because of conversation having a great role in human life, beginning in 1960 and in the earlier 1970s, Sachs and his colleagues began to study about conversation analysis, and it keep continues until now. So I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. I apologize if I made some mistake. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.